Hi guys, welcome to Throwzone.com. This is Mohit Soni and right in front of you is the Volvo S60. Yes, you might think this does look like the S90 because it is largely based on the S90. And as always, let's begin with the design. And let me tell you the fact that this car looks quite gorgeous in the flesh. You won't realize that much of that in pictures. This video also may not justify how good looking this sedan is and how Volvo's done a fantastic job in crafting a very classic sophisticated design out of the S60. It may look like a tampered down, butched down S90, but it's done in such a nice way. It's been grabbing a lot of attentions on the road, despite the S90 is quite a display on show. It's quite a display on city roads, but this one has been grabbing attention for many other reasons because this particular part here is the part where it's been chopped up, but it's been done so really well. At first glance you'll be mistaken to understand this as a Maserati, but then you come to the rear and see now that how quintessential Volvo it is at the back. And we've just had a day with this car, so it's going to be our first impression. And again, this is another three-quarter look at the car. It looks absolutely amazing. It just keeps on reminding me of the Maserati Quattroporte in some sense, but it's also a quintessential Volvo at the same time. Why? Also because the front end and the rear end are unmistakably Volvo. As you can see, the large grille is here with the even larger the Volvo badge that sits there. I am particularly not loving the lower part of the bumper, but then again it does its job for what it is. The LED Thor DRLs look really impressive. You've got a very nice muscular bonnet here, and yeah, you've got a sunroof which I'll show you on the inside. Now that we are on the outside, let's check out the boot, which isn't the biggest or the deepest, but then again it can take quite a lot of luggage here. It may not be able to fit a lot of big bags, but a lot of small bags can go in. And this is the space saver tire below it. It's been taking quite a lot of space. I think that's the reason why it's been unable to make this trunk space deep enough. You've got a lock button here for the boot. There's a reversing camera, front and rear parking sensors, and let me tell you, the rear camera is very impressive. The quality is almost smartphone level, so that's really impressive. Now let's jump into the interior, and a first glance from here, as you can see, it's pretty much almost like the S90 that we drove a couple of years ago, and the other Volvos that we've been driving around for ever since they started launching in India. And those are the dials. They are customizable in the way how the rings, you can see here, chrome rings. You can have you can go here and you can select chrome rings, or if I select performance it goes red. If I choose minimalistic, it goes without any rings. If I choose glass, it looks like I am seeing the dials through a glass, which are analog. You can choose between bright and normal. You can go back on the screen. It's become far more better than before. It was quite impressive already, but it's now become much more easier, intuitive, and it's responding to my touches quite quickly. As you can see, there's a lot of to choose from: lights, exterior lights and interior lights, and apply auto activate parking brake once you put it in P mode. I think that's necessary in our situation, in several parking situations. The media, well, it's an Harman Kardon system. It's no Bang & Olufsen here this time. The system is great, but could have been excellent. But we don't know the price yet of the car. But we have a hint that Volvo will price it aggressively, as always with all their cars, and you're going to get a very, very highly loaded, fully loaded top-end variant, which is going to be the Inscription variant, which is this variant. And you've got, these are the usual settings that you can figure out on your own. This is what you get on the main screen. Swipe, and as you can see, you can control a lot of things from here. Active bending lights, cornering lights, camera, like I showed you. As you can see, the camera is fantastic for a car of this size and price. Going back, You can have the lines, don't have the lines. This is park assist. You can zoom it in as well to see something very specifically. Like you can see this tweed here, and I think that's really cool. Going back, you can adjust the passenger seat from here. Sorry, if I press this button here, I can adjust the seat from as you can see, I'm controlling through my controls on my seat here, and when I select the button here, I can take the seats ahead, take the seat forward by just pressing the button on this screen. I can turn on and off the wireless charger. This is collision avoidance systems. All the systems can be switched on and off if you find them irritating, or if you are in a situation where you're best without it. There is cruise control. You can obviously select cruise control from here as well. You've got the pilot assist along with adaptive cruise control, and we've tested out. It works really well. It adjusts to the car in front of you. We'll have a separate video for that on our Instagram, so go there and find out very soon. That's the start stop button. Wiper service position. That means the wipers are kept in such a way that they don't mess around with the workers who are trying to work inside the in the bonnet, and that's also quite necessary for the service guys. And there's the sound experience. As always, it's not the hardcore system that you get in the S90, like I said, but the sound quality is great. And as you can see, you've got a lot of features. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, as always. Now that is the wireless charging pad, and that is the can holder, is what I like to call. You shut it down like this, and it looks very neat. That's the start stop button. You have to twist it, and as you can see, the car has stopped. Now I need to press the brake and start the car again. That's auto hold. That's electronic parking brake. Drive mode, you will have to press it like this and then go into dynamic, eco, or comfort. In that aspect, if you can see both things together, yeah. This one, the gear lever here is cable operated, not the smooth one. This is borrowed from the XC40 that we drove last time, and that's the amount of space you have on the inside. You've got charging sockets, USB charging sockets, and that is the glove box. Quite big. It's illuminated, it's cool, and I almost forgot to show you the dashboard. It's because it is entirely the same as the XC90, the S90, and the other cars that we've driven, the XC40. It's exactly like that, but what changes here is these three parts. Now you're getting a very soft touch plastic here. This wood is here, along with proper chrome is given this time. There's no aluminum, brushed aluminum or anything. It's proper chrome. These vents, they're a joy to operate. You've got this knurling effect here, and you can turn on and off, and you can adjust it. I think it's one of the best AC vents I've come across in luxury cars. It's fun to play around as well, and it's very functional, very practical at the same time. Overall quality, absolutely no cutting corners here. The cabin is very good, well appointed, very plush. Obviously fit finish is top notch. Get a mirrorless IRVM, and of course the all important Indian audience friendly sunroof, which needs to be used in the right way, which is like this itself and not peeking out of it. So whatever you need to access from these dials here can be done with this button, and you can control it via from here. You can see your navigation, phone, media, and trip. You can function it like this. Then you close it, and then these are the buttons you use for volume control. Up and down is for volume, and the sides are for the track, and this is to press the OK button when you're inside this menu here. Overall, the dials as always are brilliant. That's part of the feature package. It's an LCD screen, looks really impressive. The touchscreen has gotten much better here. It was quite good, but there were small issues which are also being taken care of. Of course, all of that can be done with the software upgrade, and that's the reason why after driving the S90 a couple of years ago, I'm seeing a very improved version of an already impressive touchscreen, which is the highlight. It makes the cabin look very simple, very simplistic, very easy to use, and you can control almost everything from here, from these three screens, and that makes it quite an easy infotainment system to operate after, let's say, the BMW system, which is also quite feature loaded, but it's also very easy to use. Like I showed you, there's a lot of settings to choose from. There is ambient lighting, and the AC in typical European fashion is requires quite a lot of speed in our Indian summers. But the bigger highlight of this cabin is of course the immediate sense of calm and serenity that this cabin offers, because the glass here is extremely thick, the doors are extremely heavy. I think this feels one of those last very old school European cars. It just feels extremely calming, and the cabin inside is extremely quiet. It just cocoons you inside, and that is the bigger highlight of the Volvo's cabin. It is absolutely fantastic to spend some time inside. It's very silent right now. Outside there is a lot of wind and things flying around, but I cannot hear anything. And with these comfortable seats which are tailor-made to the human body, keeping in mind with doctors making sure that this seat is absolutely perfect for the human body, there is no doubting. But we've experienced them over the years, and we've never found them discomforting at any given point of time. You've got lumbar support as well, along with under thigh support, making them really comfortable. Overall, a fantastic place to be in. And now let's discuss the driving part. Now the even bigger highlight here is the fact that the amount of space on offer in the S60 is very impressive. I mean, this is a very good amount of legroom. Below there is good amount of knee room. I have a little compromised on headroom. The under thigh support is not that impressive, but then again the kind of legroom and knee room I'm getting behind myself. I am 5'11", and this is quite spectacular. This is the most spacious bench in this class by a big margin. I think this is going to be one of the several or at least let's say top few selling points for the S60. This is the kind of space that you have on offer is fantastic. There's a good amount of glass area here. This is the sunroof, of course. There's good light coming in. There's a AC vents here, and you've got a reverse opening, surprisingly. 2 charging ports here, and obviously this is still a 4-seater. You've got a large hump here in between, but yeah, the space is going to be the big highlight. It is going to be good for short to medium journeys or weekend trips and back, and that is going to make the S60 quite popular in its category. So what we're getting here is the petrol version of the Volvo S60, and once it was unveiled earlier last year, Volvo did make a statement as well. It's not just India but around the world, the S60 is going to be only available with a petrol motor. It is not going to get a diesel, and in the Indian market, given the current fuel price comparison, petrol also makes sense as much as diesel does. Diesel is also quite a popular choice in the country, but then the slow and steady pace towards petrol also does make sense, and only having a petrol motor in this segment is not a big problem, and not having a diesel is not a problem. This motor is the 2-liter 4-cylinder motor, which makes 185 PS of power and 300 Newton meters of torque, and those numbers are segment power. They are not the best though, and Volvo, we know for a fact that they are not aiming for the best performance figures or the highest figures. They are on par with the segment, and what you're getting is an 8-speed gearbox attached to it. The motor extremely quiet, very smooth, very refined. Throughout the rev range, you're not going to feel any jerkiness or anything. It is extremely sweet motor. It does sound slightly sweet as well. It's got that sweet soundtrack to it to a certain extent, not a large extent. It's not sporty or pops and bangs or anything like that, but it's nice in a subtle way. It's got a good amount of low end and mid-range power, and of course it's got a lot of top end power as well. The car is limited to 180 kilometers an hour speed with the care key that Volvo gives you with this car. And what we saw while driving in and out of Bombay and a bit on the highway as well on the expressway is that performance is spectacular. It reaches triple digit speeds in no time, and It's quite easy to drive. Our team's first impression is that how easy it is to drive, extremely easy it's to drive over most of its German rivals, and that makes it stand out rather quickly. I think that you as a customer taking a test drive of this car will also realize how easy it is to drive, how docile is the engine, and since there is torque and power throughout the rev range, we're going to enjoy all of that power and performance, because it is of course doing sub 8 second to 100 kilometers an hour, which is quite fast for our roads. Obviously, like I told you about the top speed, the gearbox, it is a bit slow, a very tiny bit slow to react, but most of the time you're not going to even feel it. You can put it in dynamic mode. The gear shifts do take longer to shift. They shift at red line, and because of its taller gearing, it shifts slightly slowly, and it reaches the red line as well. So if you're in the mood for sporty driving, you are going to enjoy this engine and gearbox combination to a certain extent. Obviously it's not an out and out sporty saloon that Volvo is aiming to offer. In terms of ride and handling, the ride quality is fantastic. I love the way in the neutral way it's been dealing with bumps, and very surprisingly ground clearance is very good. It's we've given it big speed breakers, small speed breakers, absolutely weird kind of ridges and everything. It's gone through everything really well, and it's not scraped anywhere. There has been no funny noises coming out, and I think that makes it quite a practical car for our roads as well. Steering, it weighs up quite well. There's good feedback. It's light while parking and at slow speed, so driving in the city is not going to be a problem at all. On the highway, of course, it's very stable, and at any given speed, the brakes are very impressive. The tires grip really well, and of course you can push this car hard and enjoy the speed and the thrill, but it's not an out and out sporty car like the BMW 3 Series or the Jaguar XC, which it competes with. This will be more towards the Mercedes C-Class and the Audi A4. When it comes to driving, you can compare them to a certain extent. I think Volvo's got their own charm. The way this car drives is very calm. The way the cabin also keeps you comfortable from all the noises. You're going to enjoy this car over longer journeys, and you're going to enjoy the shorter journeys as well with the Volvo S60. Pricing, well, it's going to launch in March, so there's a big time for the price unveil, but we expect it to be priced around its rivals, that is between 35 to 45 lakhs. And if Volvo gets that price, then the S60 should be a top seller for them. The S90 and the other cars have made their way to make this smaller Volvo quite desirable. If the pricing is right, Volvo can expect this to fire up their sales chart. I think that is it. Thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure you like, share. Still want to ask us something, put it in the comment section below, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. We have an interesting video on the Volvo S60 coming there as well. And thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.